Hey everybody, man, what a crazy couple of weeks, right? I mean, who would have imagined that weeks ago that we would be where we are right now? School's been canceled, restaurants are closing their dining rooms, we're fighting over toilet paper and hand sanitizer. I mean, these are strange days. These are strange days, unprecedented. Never witnessed anything like this in my lifetime, and I'm sure you could say the same. And I know some of you may be feeling anxious and probably getting a little bit of cabin fever, having been home for a few days. If you've been watching the news a lot, there's no doubt that this has brought fear and anxiety about your future as a whole, whether that's financial or health. On top of all of that, you've been told to practice social distancing to avoid contracting COVID 19. In other words, at a time when you really need other people and you're worried and you could use that sort of comfort, we're being told to stay away from them. And this can probably leave you feeling overwhelmed and alone. And as you are probably aware, we've switched up our Sunday gathering on Sunday mornings, and we're meeting online for our services for the time being, just for the next couple of weeks. And we're not canceling out of fear or self-preservation, but out of a concern for those who are most vulnerable to this disease. And so we invite you to join us online on Sunday and be a part of that. But regardless of your outlook on the pandemic, we just want to ask that you be safe, wash your hands, listen to the CDC and government officials, and practice social distancing for right now. On top of that, just ask that we all be lights in the darkness and provide hope for those in despair. Let's love our neighbors, even if it's like from 6 feet away. Let's be voices of hope and encouragement despite the fear and anxiety that exists around us and sometimes inside of us. And if we do that, I'm sure that our faith at the end of all of this will be stronger as a result, and we'll make it through this difficult time. I know we will. Like I said a little bit earlier, we've been told to be distant from other people at a time that they are in great need of connection. Now, the good news is that I think we can be socially distanced but relationally connected at the same time. In other words, just because we have limited physical contact doesn't mean that we should go through this time alone in isolation. But because of the consistent warnings from government officials, we just want to suggest that LifeGroup takes a 2-week break from meeting face-to-face. Now, obviously, I can't force you to do that, to take a break, but we just strongly suggest that you do that out of consideration for people who are potentially vulnerable to this disease and might unknowingly be carrying it as well. So just a 2-week period of time. Honestly, this is going to be at the end of next week, so it's not that long. And then we're going to reassess at the end of March, and then we'll let you guys know what the plan is moving forward. But I think it's safe to say that at least for the next few weeks, we'll be in limbo. But just because you aren't meeting in person doesn't mean you shouldn't contact your group or be in touch with them. Please call, text, email, Facebook, and just check in on your group and see how everybody's doing. And as I said earlier, because of the stress of everything that we're under, people need community and connection more now than ever before. And for you as a group leader, as a group member, this could be an Esther 4:14 moment. And what I mean by that is in the book of Esther, there's this horrendous command that's given to the king to wipe out Esther's people. And Mordecai, who's Esther's cousin, comes along and just suggests that this is an opportunity to act rather than panic. And so he says to her, for if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, and you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not attained royalty for such a time as this. And, I think that your role as a life group leader, as a life group member is similar. Because, who knows, whether or not you become a life group leader for such a time as this. For a moment like this, where people feel distant or isolated, that you would be a connector for them, that you would care for them during this time. And instead of this being a cause for panic, let this just be a time to focus on the things that really matter, which is loving God and loving your neighbor. And so I want to really just tell you to take advantage of this time. Don't abandon keeping in touch, though you have to be 6 feet apart, which I know feels like an oxymoron, right? Don't stop meeting together, just stay 6 feet apart. But keep up with your group, text them, phone call, Facebook, email, reassure them that you're there for them, that you're praying for them, and just help them in any way that you can from a distance, I know. But and that is tough when you're not meeting face to face. But I'll just tell you this: we may not be able to get together physically, but that doesn't mean that we can't connect. Maybe we can get together digitally instead. So I want to offer just a couple of things for you to help connect with your group. Right Now Media is one of those things. You use it in your group for lessons. Some of you do, some of you don't. But it is full of resources that you can use for your group. In the email that we're sending you is a link. And I'm just going to ask that you share the video that you're watching right now with me in it with your group. Because that link that's in the email, along with the video that you're watching, should be 2 links, will take you directly to Right Now Media. And all you have to do is put some of your information in, like your name and your email, password, and things like that. And then your group should be able to access all of the content that's on Right Now Media that you can access. Right Now Media is very generous, and during this time they're offering this to all of our groups and all of our people outside of just leaders. And so there's parenting stuff, which right now I know I could use some parenting advice with my kids home. Finances, marriage, all kinds of stuff that they can watch on their own, even just Bible studies. There's things for your kids. If your kids want to watch a video, there's stuff for them. So there's resources for them and middle school students and high school students. But just follow the link that we're going to include in the email. Click on it and just fill out that information, and they'll be able to access that on their own. And then my suggestion to you is this, that maybe keep some of your regular times for meeting and watch those videos at that time. And maybe you could connect over Facebook and ask some of the questions that sometimes they have questions at the very end of the video, free resources that you can use. And then maybe you guys just talk about the video either on the phone or a video chat or text, group text, Instagram Live. There are a bunch of different ways that you could do it, but interact with your group and also just take prayer requests and see how everybody's doing. So that's just one solution. And then we're brainstorming, we are brainstorming some other creative solutions for you that I'm not ready to tell you about at this time because I have to iron out some of the kinks. But I just want to let you know that we're working on it, and I'll be in touch with you next week to give you some updates and maybe give you some other ways that you can connect with your group and with us. And always encourage you to go online to watch our services on Sunday, and maybe you can connect with them over that as well. Could give you some questions and things like that in the future, but we'll talk about that next week. I'll be in touch with you. And then lastly, I just want to let you know that I'm praying for you guys, and I really mean that. Like each and every one of you, I'm going to be praying for. And that's before I even start my day. I'm going to pray for peace for you, health for you, that you can connect with your people, they can connect with you, that you could be a source of inspiration and hope for them during a very dark time. And so please connect with the group, pray for them like I'm praying for you. And in a time of uncertainty and fear, maybe you can bring hope. Maybe you can be a comfort to them during this time. For such a time as this, maybe. You've become a life group leader, a life group member. And just remember that God loves you, and in his love there's no fear. 1 John 4:18 says there's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. So in short, just want to tell you to love God and love your neighbor. Take care of yourself. Take care of your families. Take care of your group. And in short, peace and love to you. And I'll talk to you next week.